Hello guys, so I am going to be moving in the upcoming near future, and as I was going through my fragrance collection, sort of sorting things out and seeing what I'm going to take with me, I realized there's a lot of fragrances that I have personally forgotten about, and I think the community in general have forgotten about. I think there are some absolute masterpiece fragrances out there that need more love, need more attention, and need more reminding in the community that they exist. So in this video, we're going to go through about 10 different fragrances that I think are underrated masterpieces that too many people forget about. Let's begin. Make sure you check out our brand, Atrium Fragrance, which is on a mission to promote creativity in the industry. By clicking the link in the description below, you gain access to a free sample as a first-time buyer, as well as exclusive written and video fragrance content by joining our newsletter. Enjoy. The first fragrance I'm going to discuss is one I don't own a bottle of, but it's Tom Ford's Tubereuse Nue. Now, I had to actually experience this fragrance for the first time for a recent video. Can you guys think what I'm hinting at here? I experienced it for the first time and I was blown away because I didn't think it'd be a great fragrance based on the name. I thought it was going to be a tuberose grandma scent. I don't think it got very good reviews in general, but I experienced it and I thought this is actually a very good fragrance. And I think I gave it two full wearings overall. And I think it's excellent. I gave it a 9 out of 10 in the end, and I think this is just a fantastic dark ambered tuberose fragrance that smells unisex in my opinion. Although tuberose, some people think that, okay, that could never be a man's scent, but I think it's a unisex scent. It's very interesting, very versatile, and very creative. I actually thought it was so creative and unique and cool that I actually thought it was from the olden days of Tom Ford, but actually it was a 2021 release, so I was really surprised. Great versatility, great interesting blend, pretty strong performance around 6 to 8 hours. I think if you haven't tried that fragrance out, you absolutely should. It's one of the underrated gems in the private blend. Then we have La Nuit de l'Homme here, but not the original. I'm holding the original here in my hand, but actually I'm referring to a fragrance I used to own a bottle of, but that is La Nuit de l'Homme Le Parfum. This is a flanker that is better than the original in my opinion, but not as good as Blue Electric. Hence when I got Blue Electric, I kind of gave it away. I'm only keeping the original mainly for reference purposes, but the Le Parfum, I think for the guys in the US especially, when you can't get Blue Electric, I think that is probably the best flanker of La Nuit de l'Homme currently. It still has that sexy, spicy, warm, woody amber backbone of the fragrance, but instead of having this smoothed out romantic cardamom, I feel like it's more of a piercing bad boy-esque cousin of the original La Nuit de l'Homme. It has more interesting fruity notes in there, as well as a black pepper that kind of pierces through. It's spicy in its own unique way. It's sort of like if the original La Nuit de l'Homme was Stefan from Vampire Diaries and Le Parfum is Damon. That would be the kind of like the comparison I would make. Don't ask me why I know that reference, but I think it's very apt here. So La Nuit de l'Homme Le Parfum is a better performer. It's around 6 hours longevity. Quite interesting, very sexy, a really, really sexy evening DNA that a lot of people just do not appreciate. Really, I think it's a flanker more people should know about. 32% of people who watch School of Scent are subscribed to us. If you guys want to see our channel grow, to really help us out, click subscribe. Let's get that number to 40%. Thank you. Dior Eau Sauvage the Eau de Toilette from 1966. Now, a lot of people pass by this fragrance because it's from the 60s. A lot of people think this is too old school. It does have an old school vibe to it, but kind of in the same way how you look at shows like Peaky Blinders, you'll see there, they've obviously got clothes that are not modern, but you can still appreciate how swagged out and cool they are. And in the same way, I think this applies here. I kind of think it's actually a little bit timeless. Eau Sauvage de Toilette is very underrated, and I think it should be appreciated more as a pioneering scent. In the same way that Fahrenheit brought ISOE Super into the market, we can thank all fragrances having that note to such large amounts due to that fragrance. You can also thank the fact that there's so much headione in most modern perfumes thanks to this fragrance. Dior really pioneered in both ways here. Eau Sauvage was one of the first fragrances to have headione in a large amount. You can smell it, you can appreciate it. This is a very traditional lavender barbershop DNA with some white florals, some musks here. The headione note would sort of fit into the white floral jasmine family. And it's very traditional. It's very much like Acqua de Parma's Colonia series. If you know like that traditional, gentlemanly, elegant barbershop scent, this is it. So I think this is a fragrance that is timeless. I think it has a bit of an old school edge to it, and I think it's for people who love the art of perfumery will appreciate this. I think it smells super pleasant. I'm wearing this right now, and you know, I've tried this in the shops, but I got this bottle and I've actually experienced this as a full bottle now and like as a full wearing, and I am actually really impressed by this blend. I still think this is a masterpiece of a blend actually. I always talk about this fragrance also, Eau Sauvage Parfum from 2017. Also an underrated masterpiece. This could also be on this list here today. I give this a 10 out of 10. This smells a little bit more modern, but still mature also, but I'm gonna see what Sauvage Eau de Toilette does on my skin and give it a bit more time and see what rating I give it, but I definitely think it's an underrated masterpiece. So check out both these fragrances. Lalique's Encre Noire à l'Extrême. Encre Noire à l'Extrême kind of got a hype a few years back and it kind of died down a bit, but I still think this is a masterpiece. Dark, woody, patchouli, interesting vetiver that's fairly easy to approach. So if you want like masterful craft, really highly well-crafted perfumery for a very good price, this is like dark, dry, very woody, then you'll love this. It almost has like a dark balsamic vinegar effect to it, which sounds strange, but that's the kind of fragrance that Encre Noire is. The entire line in general, they're strange perfumes that are very beautiful. So you have to have an open mind when you approach Encre Noire. It's very cheap, so you probably can blind buy it if you don't mind spending that much. And I'm also not just only including L'Extrême, I'm also including Encre Noire Sport. I think that is a fantastic fragrance. I had a full bottle of that. I gave it away shortly because it wasn't to my style, but I still will objectively say it's a very well blended perfume. If you're looking for that creative, open-minded approach again to a spring and summertime fragrance, Encre Noire Sport is for you. It smells like a citrus, aquatic black ink fragrance. Tell me another fragrance that smells like this. I would say it's for the kind of guys who are very creative. Let's say you're a literature student, or I don't know, you're like a writer, an author who hangs out in cafes, a really creative personality type. That's the kind of fragrance I'd imagine those kind of guys wearing in the spring and the summer. A really cool and unique spring and summer fragrance that lasts a good amount of time as well, about 6 to 8 hours, while still being light and refreshing. So check that out as well. Guerlain's L'Homme Idéal Extreme. Again, most of us in the community talk about the Eau de Parfum, the cherry flanker. This sort of kind of has a cherry effect to it. It smells like a cherry rum ambered boozy fragrance with a plum note, tobacco, leather in here, vanilla. It's a very traditional, what would be called traditionally an oriental fragrance. And I think it has some incredible notes in here. It's one of the best plum fragrances ever made. It's one of the most elegant, sexy evening scents in general. I feel like you can wear this on a date. I feel like you can wear this on a special occasion, like to a black tie event. So it's fantastic perfumery, fantastic art, and fantastic value for money as well, in my opinion. So it's sort of like it's a designer-esque kind of price tag, but I think it's a niche fragrance personally. And I think it's probably the best from the L'Homme Idéal line. So in my opinion, I've talked about this fragrance several times, but I still think the community in general should put more of their attention onto this flanker. I currently think this is the best flanker in the L'Homme Idéal line. Going back to Dior again, Dior Homme Original. I kind of feel sad. I feel like the Dior Homme 2020 kind of pushed this out of the spotlight. You can still find it on the Dior website, but it's kind of called Dior Homme Original. I kind of feel like it's just tucked away there. And it's a shame because this is, again, another revolutionary scent from the brand. They introduced iris into the mainstream perfumery for men. And it's a very robust and strong iris. It's not like your floral, light, soapy iris from like Prada L'Homme, for example. That fragrance itself copied Dior Homme Low as well, in my opinion. But Dior Homme Original is like strong, woody, masculine iris that is extremely unique, but extremely versatile. So this is a really cool signature that I still think is a masterclass compared to the modern Dior Homme 2020. Dior Homme 2020 isn't a terrible fragrance, but it doesn't hold a candle to this, in my opinion. So I think Dior Homme Original should still get more of the spotlight, and I kind of hate the fact that both lines now share the same name. I always give this a 10 out of 10, I stick by that. Chanel's Antaeus, an underrated classic. If you want to appreciate animalic notes in perfumery, stuff that you only get in the 80s, this is the fragrance to do it. It's quite an approachable animalic scent because it's not too harsh. It's not like Kouros, for example. Kouros is a bit more challenging. This is dark, elegant barbershop with a nice warmed out ambery myrrh in here. And it just smells like a boss, essentially. If you want to smell like a gangster, you want to smell like you're confident, you want to smell super masculine, something to wear in the cold weather in general, day and night, but I think this works a little bit better in the nighttime. It has this darkness, this intensity to it, and Antaeus is the fragrance to do it. So I think more people should try this out. So let's say you like oud fragrances, but they're obviously too expensive some of the times, and you want something that can wear as a signature that gives off an oud effect. Try out Acqua de Parma's oud. This is a very cool and unique oud fragrance that I've yet to this day ever experienced anything like this. This is not a real oud scent to my nose, from what I can tell. It smells like like a really thick, warm, creamy sandalwood fragrance, but it's done in a really cool way. It kind of has a hint of sharpness in here that kind of gives a recreation of oud. So I don't think it's a real oud fragrance, but hey, I still think this is an incredibly sexy, elegant, and expensive smelling fragrance regardless. Don't get me wrong, I think Acqua de Parma, generally, they are very appropriately priced for what you're getting. It's a very good quality fragrance that Has like an orange, citrusy, lavender, clean barbershop effect of the Acqua di Parma Colonia line in general, but added in with this thick sandalwood-esque oud in here, mixed with almost like a watery, aquatic effect to it. So it's sort of like an elegant man's aquatic citrus orange oud scent, which is a really cool idea, and it's very versatile as well. I think you can pretty much wear this all year round into the office, day, night. This is just a really good signature. Let's say you don't want to wear Tom Ford's oud wood anymore, you want something a bit more elegant and mature. This is the alternative you'd go for. Underrated. And then let's say you want to experience oud in all its glory, in all its magnificence. You don't care about price. Money is no object to you. You are Elon Musk, let's say. you want to try something like this. Xerjoff Alexandria II. Now, Xerjoff as a brand obviously gets a lot of hype in general, but a lot of the hype goes to things like Naxos, Uden. I hype up 40 knots as well. You got stuff like Torrido 21 and Herba Pura gets a lot of hype also. But Alexandria II gets some attention, but it needs to get more. Because this is honestly, if I wanted to say to someone, you want the most luxurious, most well-crafted rose and oud scent, that's a very traditional combination, those two notes. This is the fragrance to go and experience that in all its glory. It's a very elegant, rich man's, or just rich person's, I think it's unisex personally, but I think it's just a very rich person's rose and oud. Extremely high quality ingredients, very, very meticulously well-crafted blend. It's got real oud in here, it's 100% real oud. It smells unlike anything else you'll ever smell. It kind of has that dirty, animatic, barnyard-esque effect of oud, but done in a very softened and elegant way. So you get a lot of complexity, a lot of nuance in this fragrance for people who really love perfumery and are willing to spend the money to acquire that sort of perfumery. I think this is appropriately priced for what you're getting. I don't really know what other, if this doesn't elicit £300 price tag, I don't know what will, because it smells like the highest end ingredients have been used here. It's got lots of different wood molecules in here. I think it's got like rosewood and persinder wood, something like that. I can't remember the names, but you can just tell it's got very unique and interesting notes in here. So if you want a very interesting mixture of different woods and oud mixed with a really elegant rose in here, this is elegance in a bottle. You'll never smell more luxurious as a person than while wearing this. And that concludes this video, guys. I really do hate the fact that some fragrances just do not get the love that they deserve. So that's why I felt compelled to make this video. But you may agree or disagree with my choices. Obviously, I like to really give homage and respect to the older stuff, the old school stuff that came before. I think some things are seen as old school, and actually I just think they're timeless classics, but you may agree or disagree. Scent is a very subjective thing. What fragrances would you say are underrated masterpieces that more people need to remember? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Make sure to check out my previous video on 10 out of 10 fragrances. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.